Hi, and welcome to my video. If it's your first time here, welcome to my channel. I'm Aneela and I post videos every Monday and Thursday. Today I'm sharing 3 cooking hacks that work really well if you prepare a lot of North Indian cuisine. And these are not revolutionary hacks. In fact, they are very simple ideas, but they do go a long way. They help speed up your cooking time and even cut down on your prep. You probably already have everything you'll need. The first cooking hack is to pre-chop your onions, and I'm sure this is something that many of you have already thought about, but if you're anything like me, you think about it and it seems like a great idea, but you never actually do it. And I'm guilty of this as well, but whenever I have pre-chopped onions in the fridge, I am so thankful that I had the foresight to do that, and it really cuts down on my prep time. So I prep the onions by removing the outer skin, I put them into my food processor, and I let the machine do the work. And this is a perfectly fine method for home cooks such as myself. Of course, if you are a professional cook or a chef of some kind, then this might not be good enough for you because the pieces are very irregularly shaped. Once your onion is all chopped up, you can store it in a glass container and in your fridge for up to 10 days. And this onion is ready for you for soups, sabzis, curries, anything at all. The next cooking hack is to make your own ginger garlic paste. So many North Indian recipes use both ginger and garlic, and although you can buy ginger garlic paste at the market, it is in fact cheaper to make it at home. And when you make it at home, you won't be using any preservatives or added salt. To speed up this part of the process, you can buy shelled garlic, but if you're using unshelled garlic like me and you need to peel it, just smash it with the side of a knife until the skin splits, and you'll be able to remove the skin much more easily. For my ginger garlic paste, I really like to have equal parts ginger and garlic. You could weigh both the ginger and garlic and make sure that you have equal measures, or you could just estimate the way I did. And to peel your ginger, you can just use a spoon. The skin is very frail and it'll just peel right off. And if you're using organic ginger, then give it a good wash, but you don't have to peel it. And I am continuing to use my little blender to do the work. If you don't have a blender for whatever reason, I guess you could use a mortar and pestle. You'd have to chop things up even further to do that. But in the interest of time, I really suggest having a little kitchen blender. It doesn't have to be the biggest or the best, but something that can save you time and energy. Now to this paste, you do need to add a little vinegar or lemon juice would work as well. You're not adding so much that you're going to taste it. This is simply going to prevent the paste from turning green in your fridge. And depending on how powerful that little blender of yours is, you may want to add a touch of water, but not so much that this becomes overly liquidy. We are trying to make a paste after all. And it's up to you how smooth or coarse you make that paste, but I like mine pretty smooth. I don't like to encounter chunks of ginger in my food. Again, I am storing this in a glass container, and this can keep in your fridge for up to 2 weeks. Alright, moving on to our last cooking hack. We actually need our first 2 cooking hacks to make this one. A lot of curries and sabzis use tomato or tomato puree, and we could easily make a tomato puree or even buy one, but what we're going to do is we're going to make a masala gravy that can work for everything. You need some tomatoes. Now the number depends on you, how many people are in your household, and how often you cook. But any variety of tomato will work, and you need to boil these tomatoes until the skin splits. Then you need to remove these tomatoes from the hot water and peel off their skins. The skins really should just slip right off. If you don't peel off the skin, it's not the end of the world, but you are going to encounter little bits of rolled up skin in your gravy. So it's up to you how much time you want to spend doing this. If you don't have the time and you don't mind the presence of the skin, then you don't even have to do this step. You can skip boiling the tomatoes altogether. But if you have the time, if your schedule allows you to boil and skin your tomatoes, then I suggest that you do that. Then transfer the tomatoes to a blender and puree them until they're absolutely smooth. I'm using the same blender. I know it looks like I'm not, but my blender has several attachments of varying sizes and one base. I will try to link the model down below, but I'm sure whatever you have on hand will work. You don't really need very fancy equipment to do this. All right, moving on. Heat up some oil in a pot on medium-high heat and add some chopped onion. And lucky for you, you already have your chopped onion. You need to cook these until they start to sweat and until the onions become a little translucent. And then you're going to add some ginger garlic paste, which again, you already have because you already prepped it. And that makes you very efficient. Good for you. Combine the onions and the ginger garlic paste and allow this to cook until the smell of the raw ginger and garlic is no longer apparent to you. If you feel like it's getting a little bit stuck, you can add a splash of water. But if you turn down the heat just a touch and you keep it moving, you should be fine. Then add in the tomato puree. Combine the puree with the chopped onion and the ginger garlic paste. Then cover it up and allow it to cook for about 5 minutes on medium-low heat. After that, we are going to add some masalas to your gravy. Nothing too exotic, just the spices that tend to go in everything anyway. So turmeric, red chili powder, cumin powder, and coriander powder. This is not a substitute for the spices that you are going to add into the dish you're preparing, the dish that you're going to make in the future, but this is going to add some depth of flavor to your gravy so that when you use it in your cooking, your food is going to be so packed with flavor. And once again, we are going to cover this up and allow it to cook for about 7 to 10 minutes. And the possibilities with this gravy are truly endless. Just think, rajma, matar paneer, korma, but not even curries. You can make sabzis too, right? In fact, I'm going to show you how to use this while making a sabzi. We're going to make some GOBHI mattar in just a second. But first we have to store our gravy. So once it's cooled down, transfer it into a glass storage container and put it in your fridge. It'll last for up to 5 days. You do want to use it before that. And I've used glass for everything because otherwise the smell of the gravy, the ginger garlic paste, it'll permeate into plastic. But if all you have is plastic, that's okay. All right, let's keep going with this GOBHI mattar. It's a very simple sabzi, and if you've done all your prep, it's going to take you no time at all. It doesn't even use that many ingredients. So start out by heating up some cumin in a skillet on high heat, and once that crackles, add some frozen mattar or fresh mattar if you have it. That's green peas, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know the term mattar, but now you do. And then we are going to add some cauliflower. I like to steam my cauliflower. I prep it just a little bit, and I find that again that helps to speed up the cooking time. So add the cauliflower and combine it with the mattar. Allow this to cook a little bit. If you'd like to add a splash of water, you can do so at any time in this process. Otherwise, add some spices, just a bit of turmeric and some red chili powder, and season with a little bit of salt. Now once the GOBHI and mattar, that's the cauliflower and green peas, have been cooking for about 5 minutes or so, add 1/3 of a cup of your base gravy. We're not adding so much of the gravy that this is going to become a curry. We're just adding a little bit. It's going to reintroduce some moisture into this dish, but it's also going to coat the cauliflower and the green peas. And this is really what's going to tie these two elements together. This next part is optional. I'm going to add a little bit of ghee. If you're vegan, you can add some coconut oil, but otherwise your dish is done. And I really hope that you liked this video, that you found these tips, these hacks useful. If you give them a try, let me know. And if you have some tips and tricks of your own, please write them down below in the comments so that we can all benefit from your experience. All right, I'm gonna go. I will see you next week in another video. And if you liked this one, don't forget to hit the like button. Also, subscribe so you don't miss any content from me. And I will see you very soon. Okay, bye-bye.